trying to completely ignore the mid and top side pressure. Take the Aatrox away and you won't have Keen demolishing top lane. And take the Akali away and you won't be able to see it in Akali's hand. This is surprising as we are in match point and we have Peanut coming in for score.
Yeah, score. Stepping out. The most dominant jungler of the entire tournament, and Peanut stepping in. Someone who's played a bit more loose, a little bit more reckless with the roster. He almost seems to run counter to the style that Team Korea likes to. That control, that patience. But Peanut could be exactly what they need to match MLXG and actually bring the game back to China.
Funny enough, last game when I saw Score pick up the Olaf and was getting the lead and the team was playing around him, I thought, what would happen if you put Peanut in the same situation? Someone who wants to get that lead and then barrel it on forward. That answers it. They want Peanut to come in and now try and clash head with Team China in these team fights.
That mid jungle is something we've been talking about for the entire series, but in Game 3, it's by completely abandoning the mid lane and leaving Xie on that Kassadin that China are able to take an advantage and instead focusing on that bottom lane. But if they try to make that investment once again against a player like Peanut, then that could be a much riskier gambit because Peanut will not hesitate to dive, but we've gotten into picks and bans. It's match point between Team China and Team Korea.
I want to see what we do with Peanut here. Leave the Olaf open, get himself the pick. They are on the red side this time round. This time we get to see Korea now go for this flexing pick. So we get to see Peanut get his priority matchup.
And from the blue side, Team China, again, with the double Aatrox Akali ban. They did the same thing with the blue side Aatrox previously, but again, the Camille taken away from MLXG. It's such a strong enabler. Now, last time, it was the Ryze ban, and the Varus in the match before that. What did Team China try to take away here?
Usually, this just points out what they're trying to prioritize. And that's going to be the mid lane, it's not going to be the top lane. They could go Ryze for the mid lane, but I think the Varus is something that Korea has to ban out. Varus is going to be the go-to that Uzi picks himself up.
And there's that Vel'Koz ban as the youngest esports fan ever in the arena. Surely cheering on their home region, but this is leaving up the Alistar, this is leaving up the Galio, this is leaving up the Varus. There are so many strong picks, and China can only take one here. Even the Ryze is still open. And the Galio, first pick, blue side from Team China.
We've been seeing it get banned out throughout the series, and it's going to be China. Xie now on the pick. It's going to be fun to see what he can do with it. But now begs the question. We were talking about Alistar. I don't think it comes back into this. They want to see the specific matchup between Ali and the Rakan. Now that's gone. Varus now picked up by Korea. I want to see if China now goes towards lower range AD carries. The Kai'Sa comes to mind, and try to just dive into the back line and just enable the matchup bot lane.
And now we've got the Varus first pick for Ruler once again with 10 seconds on the clock. They might try to prioritize that bottom lane with that support, the Olaf that you mentioned. But it's a Tahm Kench. It's a safe and defensive bottom lane. And it seems like we've had a complete reversal throughout this draft phase. Team Korea prioritizing their bottom lane, Team China prioritizing their mid lane.
Just wants the safety. Ordinarily, you get the AD carry, but wouldn't go for the support because you can go either towards the Braum or the Tahm Kench. But you can see the mentality of Ruler and Core JJ consistently getting dived bot lane. They don't want that to happen any longer, and Tahm Kench would make it a little bit easier for them.
So we see the Xayah picked up by Uzi, getting MVP in that Game 3 victory for Team China. Will he have a similar performance going into this Game 4, into this match point? As Gragas is now the pickup once again for MLXG. They're showing a similar strategy, but this time it's without the scaling assurance of a Kassadin in the mid lane. It's with the support of Xie, so they might even be doubling down on it.
Yeah, I think the Olaf just comes out right now. You get to a point, oh, doesn't? I think you should ban it now. One of the greatest strengths of Olaf against this composition is, you know, the Xayah has the CC that she can constantly throw out with her feathers. Gragas itself as well. The taunt from Galio, all ignored based off the ulti that the jungle pick would have for Peanut.
Now we have another Ornn ban away from Team China. That has been a huge enabler in these fights, setting up with the long-range call of the Forge God for Team China. Taking that away is a huge step forward for Team Korea. Now we've got to look to see if that Alistar goes through. There's the Trundle that you just mentioned, but Olaf is still an option for Peanut if he wants to try to go aggressive against MLXG. But let's see what Korea try to ban away. They know what their mid lane matchup is going to be, that Orianna versus Galio. And there's the Alistar.
There we go. I mean, they just don't want to see that extra layer of engage there. But now the real question for China is, do they ban the Kindred or do they ban the Olaf? Two reasonable picks here. Kindred.
Okay, Kindred, yeah, banned away now from Team Korea. So let's see if we get that Olaf right here, saving that counter pick for Keen in the top lane once again. As the gangplank is still open, though, we might have a chance to see China let me take it himself.
Just know that the jungle matchup is already known. Peanut knows he's going up against the Gragas. It's a possibility that Let Me picks it up himself, just throwing it out there. But regardless of that, Olaf comes in through. Peanut is confident with this one.
As you said, how different would the game be if you were willing to dive with that Olaf instead of just pressure the lanes themselves? But even that dive is going to be risky against a Xayah, against a Galio, and now Let Me gets the chance to pick himself something safe up top if he wants to try to match this. Is he going to look for more engage for Team China?
Oh!
As MLXG, it's actually going to be Gragas to Ming in the bottom lane, and MLXG going mano-a-mano versus Peanut.
We'll have to see where the Gragas goes, but the Lee Sin is monumental. That MLXG just goes back onto the pick. That's really what he's made his name off domestically. So he knows that he has the backing of the Galio pick. Gnar is the go-to. I know that when Letme is pushed, shoved into a corner, he goes towards something a little bit more facilitating. Technically, Gnar can do both, team fight and split push, but it's a blind pick Gnar. So you know that Keen put in the situation. Try and match it. Here we go.
And with that final gangplank lock-in, we have what could be our final team comps for the 2018 Asian Games Esports Demonstration event. It is match point, and China are in the lead. And with MLXG taking the confidence pick in Lee Sin, a surprise flex sending Gragas down bottom. Peanut stepping up to try and match that aggression, but suddenly finds himself in what could be a difficult matchup. Team Korea backs against the wall. Can they fight their way out of this one? They were undefeated in group stage, and now they found their first 2 losses to Team China.
This is insane. Usually when you're put into a corner like this, mentality is key, and keeping score on the lineup would be the go-to. But Peanut, fresh mind, hasn't played throughout the series. Maybe he has something in mind. The coaches will shake hands.
This could be the last time of the entire series as they make their way backstage and we prepare to load onto the Rift. The People's Republic of China taking some unexpected victories over Team Korea. They just need one more to close out the series, whereas the Team Korea fans, the Republic of Korea, sending the best of the best to the stage and finding themselves worthy opponents in Team China. But with all of that out of the way, all of the preamble gone, it's time to get into this. 10 players will load onto the Rift and only 5 will leave as it's Team China taking on Team Korea.
Fans have gone through it. I just want to see the Lee Sin pick fly. Come on, MLXG, show me what you've got.
What's it going to be? That carry MLXG performance? Or are we going to see something else as we load onto the Rift for the deciding match of this best of 5? And you can hear the fans already chanting on for their teams. Team China versus Team Korea. Faker forces to back the flash! And already a flash cleanse.
2 games in a row, Ming makes the play happen, gets the flash onto Ruler last one. This time gets both summoners on Faker, not how you want to start game 3. 4. Close enough.
Yes, match point. What could be the 3rd victory for Team China, but they're already looking to control that mid lane. MLXG taking Lee Sin into the jungle. Peanut taking that Olaf to try and match it. He gets a leashless start and turns towards red.
Here's what's key about this jungle matchup. The reason why we don't get to see a lot of Lee Sins out there is because the matchups are just bad. You're an electrocute jungler going up against what seems like an Olaf. He's going to be chucking axes. It's actually really bad for you. That you just get outright damaged. One of the oldest counter picks in the book. But you still pick the Lee Sin for the setup. You're confident enough for the ganks. Super impact in the lane. And of course, once you ping 6, the Lee Sin kicks is what we're looking for.
Those dragon rages to set up for the carries and find the kills. Now Faker, this wave pushed in. He's catching all the CS that's flooding in towards him. But already we see very early river control out of Team China. They've got a defensive ward in Pixel Bush and taken the top Scuttle Crab as MLXG is going from buff to buff. And Peanut is forced to go for a very close to full clear as he finds himself with double buff.
Yeah, and speaking of forced, Faker is forced to play under this tower. He knows that going up against a Lee Sin, one thing Lee Sin has in mind is to make the ganks happen, and the taunt that is available for CA makes it all the easier to go up against a flashless, cleanseless Orianna.
A very scary matchup, but the cleanse is already half duration to coming back, so not quite as much threat for Faker. If he can only hold out for just a few more waves, he should be fine. But Letme finally has himself a favorable matchup in the top lane against Keen's gangplank. You can see Keen is setting up to keep himself safe from any dive, places a ward on the Krug camp to make sure that there's no chance MLXG appears, and still the information game bounces between the two teams.
Yeah, and those wards are really crucial. Know that Gnar has a lot of masteries he can go towards. Going towards Airy just means that I want trades. The trades that he gets, long range, throwing out the boomerang, really converts into a dive. And so MLXG, if he gets it, it's available for him, he will look for it. So, if not to get the kill, to force GP from taking the massive wave, at least he gets this one. You always have to keep in mind on how this matchup goes for Team.
He has brought Peanut back towards that top side of the map. His first recall is completed. Peanut's got himself the boots to synergize with that Predator and a Ruby Crystal for some more sustain as Xie teleports back into the mid lane and the waves bounce out. Finally, Ruler gets himself a safe lane down in this bottom half of the map, as even MLXG is sitting in Tribush just to pull the attention. And he will be spotted out by a ward, though.
When you're going up against Suzy and Ming, I don't know if you ever get yourself a Saint Flame. Sure, you had the Tom Kench, so that's what makes sense for it to happen. The Exhaust to follow, too. Remember, that's Exhaust versus Ignite from both supports. So you can already tell the mentality behind both these matchups. But Core JJ and Ruler still have to be aware, get the wards down, so MLXG cannot impact it.
Now Ming steps up to look for vision onto Peanut. They want to know where that Olaf is going. He's trying to dodge the vision that was placed on Grom. I don't think the Scryer's Bloom spotted him, as there were no pings onto him, and he's heading down for a lane gank towards the bottom lane. That's the fall to Ming. Flash. Ming trying to set up for some more damage, but the Predator. Peanut's racing up. Devourer is ready. Ming is the target, and he goes down. First blood, Team Korea.
Flash to get the slow across. Core JJ sets up the gank for Peanut. Well done. Kill's gone across now.
LXG now setting up for a gank top. Uses the ward hop to close the gap. Sonic Wave is ready. He tries to bait out the flash, but it's held onto. Keen does not flinch. He holds his ground and escapes with his life.
Incredibly well focused from Keen. He just recognized he needed to wait for the reaction on Q. So this is where it all started. Flash is over the minion wave so he can actually get the Q across. And so Ming, waiting on his cooldown so he can body slam out, just wasn't going to be given to him.
Ends up giving that first blood over to Ruler. The bottom lane might finally get a chance to go into his favor in this game, as even Infernal Dragon is picked up by Team Korea on a very scary composition. 4 huge damage members as the game goes on, so massive investment for them.
This is pretty good for China before that point happened. Remember, the mid lane matchup was supposed to go in favor of Faker. But since losing both of his summoners, and on top of that, Xie getting minion dematerializer, was just making it so hard for Faker to deal with cannon waves that would come through. So it was looking good initially. Mid lane and bottom lane were pushing, but now Korea found themselves a foothold in the bottom lane.
It's opening up to a 600 gold advantage, and we'll keep an eye on how that bottom lane goes, as it's a BF sword start from Uzi against the Bilgewater Cutlass for Ruler. And He just needs a little bit
Here
more
we go.
gold. That's the body slam. jeong-gen not back out of lane in time, and Ruler will take some damage, but again, he's got that cutlass, so we'll get some lifesteal to heal himself back up. But this wave is pushing in, and MLXG is on the bottom half of the map. Plus, Xie has picked up level 6, so we could see a potential dive if Team China were thinking about it, or they might just try to reset the wave and gain control over the bottom half of the map.
It's a good way for Ming to play out the laning phase. Getting the chunk down means that you're right, you have build water cutlass, you can play to just sustain, but you're already in an aggressive standpoint. Now you're looking to play at a range so you can heal up and throw your Qs so you can get the minions across rather than trying to get the trade on towards Uzi.
Now we do see Uzi still pushing this wave up, using those feathers to try and clear out that minion wave as quick as he can, and still just patrolling back and forth. He's actually brought NLXG out of the jungle. There is a Scuttle Crab just expiring and a Control Ward, but another in the Pixel Brush. Ming now looks like he's about to be spotted by that Control Ward. They're just going for a blue steal as Faker is caught recalling. It's a small jab from Team China, but it does deny that wave clear to Faker in the mid lane, which could open up Xie to move around in just a few minutes.
You would expect Korea to know this is happening now that they brought their bottom lane to the play. You can see that MLXG would likely go to secure the blue buff of his own in the opposite end, but we're seeing if that's the case because, yeah, actually, Xie putting down a ward to defend it, so that would look to be a triple buff.
Yeah, Peanuts actually completed his recall. He did not go for that blue buff despite the attempted recall as MLXG lands the Sonic Wave. The kick sends him back! jeong-gen gets pulled and snared. That's the Cannon Barrage. Ruler's out the front, and Ming eats some damage, tries to soak it up. Another Sonic Wave, but the Chains of Corruption does so much, and NLXG decides not to follow. Uzi chases it down! Nearly has the damage and finds the kill under the turret, but here comes Peanut. Teleport coming in as it's an all-out brawl. Level up from Ming. He finds the cast. jeong-gen goes low. Uzi finds himself the double, but dies. Gifts over the kill to Peanut, and it is 3-2 in favor of Team Korea.
But he risked it all to get that double kill, and this is a massive wave now being denied against the Varus. So mission complete for Team China. Get the advantage on towards Uzi, and he netted it for himself.
With everything on the line, match point, and one game still to lose, he decides to flash under the turret. Comes up with the double kill, but ends up giving another 2 over. 1 to Peanut, I believe. That's actually 2 now to Peanut. And NLXG, he's not done yet.
Fancy feet Faker. You don't need some, you don't need to blow him at all. As long as you got the movement speed there, uses his command distance and W to be able to just give him the extra movement speed to duck out of there, duck out of cover. Now he's moving along here.
Yeah, they're going to claim control over this bottom half of the jungle from Team China as blue buff is passed over to Xie. Oh, yeah, Ming does not, or sorry, MLXG does not take it. And sending Xie back towards this mid lane. But now as we get towards this 10-minute mark, we're seeing Peanut start to step up. And you said 2 kills on score versus 2 kills on Peanut. What would you rather see? As we get to see this play again.
There we have it. 2-for-1 special, kicks him into the back line. But this is the value you have of that at Tom Kench. You try and focus him down. Not only did he get the shield here, but it actually came back off cooldown to try to get him again. But you're right, 2-for-1 special. They just go for the kill. So Uzi commits, has the tower aggro, tries to go for the Tom Kench as well. So there we have it. We didn't get to see the full play because it was a very long one.
It was.
But Peanut has 2 kills now, and that's the primary strength Korea now has.
And we see a Rift Herald attempting to be taken by MLXG as she follows him deep in the jungle.
You ain't going nowhere.
Gives him a pat on the back as he makes his way out, but Peanut, like we said, this is the difference between the two. It was 2 kills on score in Game 3, and he wasn't able to affect his lanes. Now, Peanut has the 2 kills on the same champion. Can he do what Score could not?
Well, first time around, you actually saw the answer to that, which was when he just had a lane dive directly towards Ming. Now he's going to do it again. I mean, the pressure's already there. Why not have a second shot at it?
They've already set up the control ward, though there is a defensive ward on Tribush that might spot Peanut if he steps too close to the lane. He's looking for mid, but Xie is playing so close. Good shockwave, catches him in midair. That's the Ragnarok. Xie goes low. Peanut decides not to go into the turret as MLXG follows it up. The chilling smite, but that's Cannon Barrage. Abyssal Voyage gets jeong-gen back in.
He was threatening for the Warthog kick, so you had to flash off with your Faker. You can see it in his eyes. Didn't happen. But you can see it. That's the difference between Score and Peanut. He was looking for these plays, and he's relentless. Get away from that wave, buddy.
Xie is still flirting with danger. That Sonic Wave misses. Peanut's not very tanky, but they're trying to deny Faker these minions while Peanut is trying to hold them. The wave pushes back in, and Peanut does pull it to the side to buy a little bit of time, so Faker won't miss too much, but this is a recall opportunity for Xie. And still, we're seeing a CS advantage for Let Me up top as he's pushing constantly into Keen. This should equalize with his wave, and bottom lane is still in favor of Uzi with that kill advantage.
There we have it. Now, Peanut, of course, the base coming down. He's going to be looking to try and defend this Infernal Dragon being taken.
Flash Smite is ready for Peanut. He's got no Ragnarok. jeong-gen sees this. Smite secure. Team China are forced to back out. Ming's over the wall. Warthog gets into safety. Peanut decides not to follow up. With Korea pressing forward, they're pressing forward in multiple directions. Xie has found Faker once again under the turret. They're fighting over the Raptor camp now. Uzi trying to clear it out, but Peanut will get the secure with a Smite and that Ragnarok.
I think the benefit of that is that they deny Korea from having double Infernal. But look at the situation they're currently in. Galio probably needs a base for himself, but he's getting constantly pressured under tower. This is the Faker special. Push him in and let it rip on the tower. Tower's getting chipped down a little bit constantly just based off the matchup alone. You can't keep Faker here unscathed. You have to do something.
If he's allowed to keep pressing, eventually that turret will fall, and we know what this Orianna can do. He's being passed over this blue buff now as it respawns, finally able to get the buff for himself as Xie heads back into the mid lane. MLXG is on the prowl. He steps up the shockwave, pulls it in! That's a bait, but there goes Xie. He's forced to back out of this. The Predator, the slow, but Ragnarok means Peanut's able to soak some of this. It falls off just in time for Ming's cast as Xie heads back to his turret.
Layered on top of Orianna's damage, Peanut just destroys him. That was such a good follow-up. I mean, there was no way for him to respond. No flash, no reaction, hop, nothing you can do in that situation. You're gone.
And again, we see the trade-off. Winds of War trying to clear out the minion wave, but Team Korea are pushing off the back of Faker's pressure. They're getting more and more damage onto this turret. Luckily, Ming completes the rotation from bottom to defend it. It is still standing for Team China. But here we get to see it again through the control ward.
So you see him coming through the control ward as you mentioned. He peeks his head out there, walks up. Look at that. That's just fruit. I mean, true lockdown CC. Nothing he could do after that. He was already dead by the time the CC from the Orianna ulti actually came in.
Yeah, no hesitation from Faker. He sees his opportunity and he takes it. That's what makes him such a good player because he is so decisive. Now Rift Herald being started off by MLXG. Peanut once again spots this out. As he's looking to collapse around from the side, Shie looks to zone him. There is no Ragnarok from Peanut, but he's nearly got his smite back up.
Doesn't have much mana to him, so I wouldn't really look for a longer engage from Peanut.
Team Korea actually collapse on the pit. They bring Core JJ and Ruler, even getting a teleport out from Keen. As Lenny close to Mega, not sure if he wants this fight. Keen completes it, Shockwave pulls MLXG in, he's dead again to Faker. 5-2 for Team Korea, and they take the Rift Herald.
Ming and Uzi were stuck at base. They were coming, they were going to be there in about 30 seconds, but they didn't have 30 seconds. The play happens. MLXG tries to go for a steal, but of course he's going to get picked out by the Shockwave.
And no hesitation from Korea. They drop Rift Herald in the mid lane. This charge should be enough to break it down. Mid-tier 1 falls.
A lot more fiery out of the Korean roster now with the Peanuts in here. You give him 2 kills, and he just keeps going. I love the fact that we're seeing a completely different game now that they brought in Peanut.
Much more aggressive play is opening up the map. Now Faker is unlocked on this Orianna and free to maneuver around. Peanut synergizing in an unexpected way by collapsing on MLXG's mistakes and forcing him into a bad position, not once but twice in a row.
Hey, this was the old SKT duo. Peanut, once upon a time, was across sides from Faker. They get to play once again with each other, and you know what? Unexpectedly, the synergy is back on track. 4 kills from just 2 of them. Just combined. The pressure is there. They're doing really well to just completely nullify MLXG, and in this case, Shie.
And non-stop push out of Faker, using the Shockwave again to keep Shie busy. Uzi, meanwhile, he's finished off his Stormrazor, but he's a far cry away from the kills that he had in Game 3. Same champion, but completely different tale at 2-1-0, as Ruler is actually 22 CS ahead. Despite being down in a kill, he's finished off Blade of the Ruined King, and he's got push pressure onto the bottom tier 1 with Peanut on this half of the map. So it's in fact Peanut's aggression that's starting to open things up for Team Korea. This turret will be held though. Luckily that Xayah has got plenty of wave clear, but Triforce finished off for Keen, Luden's Echo finished off for Faker, Blade of the Ruined King for Ruler, and Peanut's picking up his own tank items. Things are looking pretty good for Team Korea.
Yeah, and they were setting for themselves up a pretty reasonable dive down bot lane, knowing that Lee Sin was top side too. Uzi and Ming just kind of respected the pressure and took drugs. As you can see, nothing there. Nothing here you can see with your axe toss.
The Undertow. Peanut still feigning a dive. Faker's roaming away from the mid lane. Ruler steps up, but Ming doesn't take the bait. Uzi does, though. That's the cast again. Pulling Core JJ to the side. A flash gets Ruler out of there. The target's Core JJ. Chains of Corruption has found Ming. He's slowed. That's the hero's entrance, but he's already dead. Ragnarok and Shie into the fight, but already his support is out. It's a kill advantage for Korea, and Team China are forced to pull back.
Galio was in position for some time, but didn't know how to really start off the fight. And by the time he got in there, Ming was already dead, so nothing you can do here if you're Team China. Just have to really wait and see what Korea now does with their time.
And that was Team China trying to make the best of a bad situation. They knew that Peanut was nearby, and they tried to find a kill before he could get in, but unfortunately Ming not quite tanky enough. Ends up going down for the 3rd death of his team. And 18 minutes into the game, Team Korea still looking for these opportunities, starting to dictate the control of this game. Keen, despite being down in CS, is almost certainly up in gold by the nature of that gangplank. Already finishing off that Triforce, as we said. Going to become a threat later on, but now the Infernal Dragon is up. Team China are losing control of the river.
3 Infernal Dragons in a row. It was really special that China was able to get the 2nd one, but they cannot stop for the 3rd one. That's really a miracle run. Maybe Let Me joins in the next fight. Doesn't have teleport, so we have to make the travel. Here we go, they're actually committing to this.
Stepping up, attacks the turret. MLXG follows through. They manage to get the snare. Let Me happy to tank these hits. Keen soaking the damage as Shie joins the fight and finishes it off. Finally, the Sonic Wave for MLXG will take the kill, putting Team China a little bit closer on the board, but Dragon was finished off by Peanut.
That's a big trade, giving away the 2nd Infernal Dragon for what's a top lane dive and the tower kill. But remember, Korea's actually have a lot of members in the bottom side of the map, so you're giving away the bottom lane tower as well. Here we go.
Peanut, he might not just be looking for the turret, he might be looking for a kill. The Abyssal Voyage gets Core JJ in there, but Ming with a disengaged cast knocks them away, but as you said, minions looking for that bottom tier 1.
And so at this point, you make the trade happen. There's a bottom lane tower and an Infernal Dragon. What's the top lane tower and a kill on towards the GP. GP is not going to be too perturbed by that. He's okay with that. So this is just a good trade from Korea as a whole.
And that's unlocking, though they are looking to take the top tier 2. Keen is back up. He's got no cannon barrage, but MLXG sets to finish it off. 2 turrets for 2, and Team China are keeping pace.
You can be creative with that now, looking for the next dragon. Baron is up in about 2 seconds, but we're seeing a collapse.
Yeah, Faker with blue buff uses the dissonance shockwave again onto MLXG. He's been caught by that spell so many times. Despite the flash, Faker gets the kill. And Peanut will force Levy to flash away from the Undertow.
Jungler is down now. Baron just came back up. Korea's in the area. Why not just start it? I know the base is being channeled, but it would make a lot of sense for them to try and bait it with the now death animation here from Lee Sin.
And 3 kills on Faker, 2-0 and 3 on Peanut. MLXG 1-3-2. He takes the confidence champion on the Lee Sin, but every single time his opponent hasn't been Peanut. It's largely been Faker in the mid lane, who is tracking his movements all across that mid lane, all across the jungle and the river. And keeping that Lee Sin locked down is preventing Team China from snowballing any of their lanes and setting themselves up. Now Team Korea, as you said, maneuvering around the Baron. They didn't take it after MLXG died, but they are setting up a bait around the pit.
And they have quite a few... Oh, wait a minute, he got it.
Oh, that time he gets away, but he does get the blue buff.
There we go. And now, of course, they can this actually turn their attention towards the top lane as Gnar is just alone.
He's got no flash. Abyssal Voyage is ready. He's trying to build up rage as quick as he can. Chains of Corruption misses, but the flash, he gets caught by the Undertow. Lemmy's getting close to Mega. He's got the slam, but dies before he can transform and will die. Now Shie pushing bottom, takes down the tier 1. Keen has got Cannon Barrage and the teleport, but it's 5 versus 4.
No teleport on the Galio, and also on top of that, Lemmy with a pretty long death timer. Could have just gone towards the Baron, but they're not willing to do it. In fact, lose the mid lane turret as a result.
Uzi still stepping up and finishes it off. Still, it's 4 turrets to 2. Team China are taking these reckless trades to get gold back onto the map, but Faker finishes it off. That was flash away from Keen, as you said. MLXG lands himself the Sonic Wave, and Dragon's Rage only sends Keen back towards his tier 2.
There's a lot of plays to make Keen feel uncomfortable, but the team as a
Flash
whole.
body slam the cast. He's looking for Ruler, pinned against the wall, takes to the skies, but Core JJ sets it up. He's going the wrong direction, rooted in place, and Ruler goes down. Uzi and Ming find the opening, and they collapse on it. A double kill to Uzi.
Disconnected from their team, but now they can just chase them down. Peanuts alone.
This is very risky. Peanut forced to turn and run. He used his flash earlier, and Letney's able to get revenge, sidestepping around the vision. Neganar against the wall, shut down on Peanut.
Right next to the Baron buff too. They've already started it.
Keen is teleporting in. Faker is behind them. Team China are in the pit, as you said, burning through its health. But Faker's ready with a shockwave. He's found MLXG.
Oh,
He goes low, but that's the hero's entrance. MLXG flashes away. No one's defending Uzi. Keen is walking up, but MLXG gets the kill. Faker, 1 versus 5, trying to hold his ground. He's got no mana. He's slowed, looking for another, but he finds the kill. Finally will die to Uzi as he finishes it off. And Team China turn to the Baron.
They have everybody they need. They don't have Let Me, but he's did his job here. Baron buff for China.
23 minutes into the game throughout this laning phase. Faker has been putting out a monstrous performance, but collecting themselves as a group, they're able to collapse and find Team Korea. Split up, they find the kills, and now they find control of the game.
I just don't know what Korea was doing in the top side. Keen is doing his job. He's getting just blitzed by everybody. Teleport was gone too, so it was just so much confidence from China's side that they could expect so many members and resources towards the bottom lane, and nothing was going to be happening towards the Baron. So ultimately, all China's on towards Baron. You can see what ends up happening here. Faker does a great job being able to nail down MLXG, but take a look at this. MLXG walks back up. The confidence to nail the kill when he doesn't have HP.
So very close. Faker finally gets the kill onto Let Me in the end, but Uzi, with a flash auto from Storm Razors, locks it down. Now Baron for Team China. All of those turrets that they've been trading earlier are about to pay off as they're pushing up to the tier 2.
Oh my
He's
God.
running the Ragnarok, and he walks away with his life. But that's a primary initiator. That Olaf gone. The wave clear is non-stop. Faker's trying to push it out, but he already used his shockwave. It's still on cooldown, and Let Me is prepping a wave bottom.
The Baron buff cannon minion too. Ragnarok used by Olaf. Even if he joins up, won't have the ability to just get in there.
Faker's trying to hold aggro. He's got flash, but pinned against the wall. Shie finds no opportunity. Forced to use the stopwatch and stall this fight out. Uzi tries to keep him standing, but Shie late flash. He escapes but dies at the last second. Faker lands the auto attack onto Uzi, chases it down, looking for
my
another.
God.
He knows there's no flash. He lands the damage, trades the kill 1 for 1. That's a big damage source for another, but that's Baron now missing. Peanut gets back in as MLXG goes down. China overextended. Faker makes them pay.
Uzi does his best to get Faker off of him, but Faker does his job. 4 members down. Here we go now. Gonna get more than this.
Ming drops the barrel roll to try and clear out the minions, but what was an advantage for Team China swings back to Team Korea. They break down the mid-tier 2, bringing it to 5 turrets to 4. And the Abyssal Voyage towards this 3rd dragon, this last elemental drake, sorry, 2nd to last elemental drake for Team Korea. As they get themselves an ocean. 25.5 minutes in, this game is back and forth and dead even.
At the very least, Let Me still has his Baron buff. He's in the one split pushing. Later the Rune King right on him. You can hear the audience cheering it because this is a very close game.
Non-stop cheering for this gold medal match. Game point for Team China if they close it out here. And everyone is on the edge of their seat as to how this is going to shake out. Blue buff now being taken by Shie as once again, Team China playing around the map, trying to deny the vision that Peanut needs to use if he wants to look for a flank to chase someone down.
And that's the case here. Even though the fight went in towards Korea's favor, Baron buff is still there from the Gnar. He's already hiding and now going back towards the bottom lane. Pressure is still there because Ming is holding the mid lane with Baron too, so it's not completely gone. It was a great defensive measure from Korea, but you have to try a second time.
They need to be able to break the inhibitor line of Team China to really lock down map control. As you said, you can see that 1-3-1 control from the Galio and Gnar, splitting open the map. Uzi at 6-2-1. He's at 3 items with a Vamp Scepter. Doesn't have his QSS yet, so there still is some opportunity for Ruler to lock him down. But he's been playing so well this entire series, and constantly controlling these waves, constantly keeping Team Korea on the defensive, has been the recipe for success for Team China in this best of 5.
And much like how that last fight ended, it really does feel like it's Uzi versus Faker. Faker's last couple team fights have just been insane. And even though the last Baron fight still ended with China taking the Baron, Faker still got a kill off of it, so he's 6-2-2 at this point. 3 items and a half if you just point out the fact that he has the boots and the stopwatch.
Oh, they find the cast. Ruler forced to flash away. Core JJ with the save. Faker's over the wall. The tier 2 falls. Lands the dissonance, but Shie continues to zone him off. Team China, they push the wave all the way up to the inhibitor turret, finding an opening without the Baron buff.
There's too much range here with the Orianna. Good idea to lean towards the right, knowing that Orianna was onto your left, so making a good case for that one. But it's so good from Core JJ to keep Ruler alive. Vulnerable throughout the series countless times, but the Tahm Kench has been netting so much for the team of Korea.
Huge value. in keeping that Varus standing in these fights, knowing that if you do see the Faker versus Uzi trade, as you said, this matchup seems to be largely Faker versus Uzi based, but then you get to the secondary carries. You start to compare Xie versus Ruler, MLXG versus Peanut, Let Me versus Keen, and it is so volatile in these fights, but we're still looking towards Uzi and Faker as the primary playmakers in this game, this match point. Now, Baron's up in 90 seconds. Xie is prepping a wave up top, and we just saw a completed recall from Team China. They could look to start setting up vision and reclaiming control of the map.
And this is the second GP game we've seen so far, but it's also just a completely different build. The last one was, the Yomu's, a little bit more defensive because he got a Hex Drinker for his name. This one is just full offensive. You got the GA and the Storm Razors. So the next barrel he throws out, it's just going to crit, baby. So we're at a point right now where the GP can end the fight based off the setup they have around Baron.
And this time, amazingly, it's Let Me who wants to keep Keen split pushing, as he's got Blade of the Ruined King, Frozen Mallet, and Black Cleaver. Now that's the hero's entrance. We've got a fight breaking out. Let Me chases. He's close to Mega, looking for Keen, but he steps back through the wall. Inside of it, Xie has found Core JJ. He's forcing Ruler back, and that's the Guardian Angel popped. As Uzi joins the fight, Keen is left all alone. He gets some good damage, but snared and stunned. He dies to Uzi.
Gets a little bit of HP back through Triumph, but Core JJ's on the run.
He's split on the far side. Meanwhile, MLXG is doing everything he can to keep Peanut split from the map, while Ming prepares a wave in the mid lane. A taunt, and Core JJ will fall. Xie finds the kill. 11 kills to 12. But now the top lane matchup is reset. Waves are prepped both mid and bottom, and Baron is just now spawning.
The base coming through from China and the mid lane getting pushed does make a point that it's going to be about the Baron buff.
Teleport completed as Let Me's back out of the base. Uzi with double buff, back at full health. With the Predator, but Faker gets himself stunned inside, steps the cast, but look at that MLXG! He finds the kick and he finds Faker! With Faker gone, it's all up to Peanut to prevent this Baron, but Team China are racing towards the pit.
You can only sidestep so much, Faker. It's a point and click that gets you. Now they're on Baron and there's nothing here to stop Team China.
Team Korea back up to their base. 12 kills to 12, 31 minutes in match point, and Team China have the Baron.
Kills are even, but the situation is completely tilted towards China. And they have great split push with the Nard too, so he's gonna say Jaya. He's gonna move towards the bottom side of the map.
Oh yeah. And listen to the energy in this arena. It is electric as Team China are looking to close this game out. Dragon's up in 30 seconds. You can see they're making their way over to the pit to deny Team Korea from getting that fourth elemental dragon, or perhaps even just setting up their side waves to try and look for a 1-3-1, because now Team Korea are forced to be defensive. Now they're the team that are forced to sit on the high ground and absorb Team China's pressure.
And this is when you start taking stock of timers. Guardian Angel down from GP is something you should look towards, because it was easier diving him last time. It's gonna be so much easier now if you just group on towards this massive wave piling in towards the bottom lane.
Uzi brings the wave forward. MLXG zoning off, trying to keep this ward vision denied. Abyssal Voyage as Faker is forced to back away. Xie and Let Me pushing this wave in with everything they've got, but that leaves bottom undefended.
Yeah, 3 members top lane, and Galio can easily help out there. Here we go, that's an inhibitor down for free.
And they're still continuing to push. MLXG clears out a wave alongside Let Me to prep it forward. Ming is defending Uzi as he brings him towards the middle inhibitor turret, but Team Korea, they're trying to set up top. Ming steps up, still holding on to the cask.
Where they have to draw the line. The Baron up, bottom lane. Massive minions are actually moving towards the bottom lane, so it's all gonna happen mid.
Peanut's acting as a human wall to soak this damage onto the turret, but Uzi avoids it completely, walks under turret to push in. The Vamp Scepter more than happy to pay off in that sustain, but now they still need to defend.
This is big. The bottom lane wave is actually fairly slow. It's slow pushing now, so they can actually time it well with this mid lane push. Someone's gonna have to deal with the bottom lane minion creeps, but if they do, that inhibitor mid lane's going down.
MLXG preps the wave. Xie takes a hit as Uzi brings the wave forward. Caught by the Chains of Corruption, but a cleanse gets him out. That's a big ultimate now gone. Uzi still looking for some hits, but no chase from Team Korea. Uzi, he has no flash, he has no heal. That's the Predator. They're racing towards the top lane as Let Me is running for his life, but instead Peanut just walks up to clear the wave. That's 2 big cooldowns now missing.
He so far is doing a good enough job holding the game firm, but it's always just that one play that you have to watch out for.
Slowly but surely, the mid-tier 1 is falling. Xie preps the wave. He gets good damage onto Faker, but with Baron buff on the super minions, MLXG bringing wave after wave. They're able to chunk it down, hit after hit. Uzi's at very low health right now, needs to heal up off of this wave if they want to continue to siege, because the Baron buff is going to fade off within the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, he has the lifesteal, he should be fine. My worry is towards Peanut to actually have to go back to base. He found a good window now, but he's back on the map. Next wave's about to pile in. This could be
Uzi kills Faker in the mid lane, they dive! And Team China are trying to end the series right here! That's a massive damage source missing, the inhibitor goes down, Baron is about to wear off, but they've still got super minions, 5 versus 4. Can Korea hold their ground?
This ain't gonna cut it. That was a massive pickoff towards Faker. This game's gonna end here.
Uzi still stepping up onto the Nexus turrets. The first one falls as the minion wave is clear. He's not backing down. He wants the golden year as he's trying to step up to this final Nexus turret. The Baron wears off and they have to back away. This series is not over yet.
Surprising. Xie took a lot of damage on that run. So even though Uzi could have waited for the next wave, healed up, would have went for the decisive blow, they called it too risky. Too much poke coming through from the GP.
And you can just hear the sigh of relief from the audience. This game is so close to being over, but it's not done just yet.
I am super thankful the game didn't end there. I just wanted to see the replay of how that decisive pick was made.
Well, now you get your wish res. As in the top side,
Follow
Faker's
Faker.
at half health. Ming over the wall.
Real. Ming getting the crucial pick with that cast toss.
And with Faker's wave clear gone, it's down to a single inhibitor turret and a single Nexus turret already chunked to below half health. 35 minutes into the game. Team China 6,000 gold ahead, but Team Korea more than capable of taking a team fight if they're able to find the right opportunity.
Get into gangplank territory, by the way, the moment it gets to 35 to 40 minutes into the game. You have to really check how much damage he does. I don't think Uzi knows how much damage. You haven't really found it. He's been hitting minions for a while. So next time he hits you is when you really realize that just probably just going to be one barrel and an auto attack that gets you.
Faker's trying to play around Vision here, gets himself a nice safe ward over the wall, but Uzi steps up to clear this wave out as they're pushing onto the final inhibitor turret. No respite to Team Korea as China pushes in.
Gotta queue on towards Viola. You have the ability to ward hop towards Faker. Faker has to watch out. You saw it the last play.
Super minions are pushing in bottom. Let me and MLXG bringing the wave forward. Peanuts on the side. That's the Predator. Uzi steps up but dodges the undertow. Dodges the command attack, and MLXG! I cannot believe it. Core JJ is able to save Faker. He's still alive, but the inhibitor turret goes down. Super minions mid. Super minions bottom. It's gonna be a 5 versus 5. Stand at the Nexus.
One structure left, and it's down. Nexus is bare open.
MLXG once again lands the Sonic Wave. Faker, he's got double summoner spells. MLXG steps up, but no Dragon Rage. Shockwave is able to pull Uzi in. He takes to the skies. That's Cannon Barrage. Can he get out of this? She is working onto the Nexus. They just need to destroy that building, and they win, but Uzi gets the kill. Onto Peanut. That's the hero's entrance. He's not stopping. He wants it. Levy on the side finds entry, and Team Korea cannot find a way back into this. Uzi turns onto the Nexus, and the People's Republic of China take the gold medal win.
3-1 in a decisive fashion around Uzi. Gold medalist now. Such a massive win for the People's Republic of China.
You can see the fans jumping up and down at this victory. We could be seeing the beginning of a golden year for China, as they are looking to upset the ecosystem in League of Legends and prove that maybe there's a new top dog in town.
This sets you up for more games, man. Back and forth from the qualifiers to the group stage to the grand finals. And it ends unsuspectedly in China's favor.
They head over to shake hands with the Korean players in a very intense best of 5. You can hear the chants. Team China fighting, Team China fighting. And with a big smile, Uzi shakes Faker's hand. Long-time opponent, long-time rival. But this could finally be the year that the crownless king gets to put the final jewel in his headpiece, the final crown above them all.
Such a great win for the organization, at least for the country, for China as a whole.
Big hugs all around from Coach Aaron as Team China make their way back on stage after this victory. Even Mako, the sub-support, stepping in. He appeared during the group stages to help the team take a handful of wins, but it was Ming and Uzi who closed out the series. MLXG, who risks everything with a Lee Sin. Match point goes down.